Hi everybody, today we're going to continue with Module 2, Lesson 1, and let's look at our word problem today. Miss Bauer helps her kindergartners tie their shoes. It takes her 5 seconds to tie one shoe. How many seconds does it take Miss Bauer to tie 8 shoes? So what we're doing here is we're tying in a multiplication problem. So I am going to add in some groups to represent kids, or to represent shoes. So how long does it take her to tie 8 shoes? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it takes 5 seconds for each shoe, right? So if I use a star stamp, and each star represents 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so what I just did is if I have 8 groups and I have 5 in each group, that's going to give me 40 altogether. So I did 8 times 5 or 5 times 8. If we think of the commutative property, we know they can switch, equals 40. Okay, it takes Miss Bauer 5 seconds to tie one shoe. Does it take a very long time to tie a shoe? Let's see how long a second is on the stopwatch. We're gonna go there. We're gonna see how long a second is on the stopwatch. Oh, and we're done. That was it. That was 1 second. Let's see how long 5 seconds is. Okay, that was 5 seconds. Let's see how long 40 seconds last. That's the amount of time it takes Miss Bauer to tie 8 shoes. Okay, here we go. So let's see, she just tied one shoe. Now she tied another shoe, because remember, each one takes 5. Now another shoe. Now another shoe. When we think of seconds, we think of them as going by so fast, but when you're just sitting here watching a clock, they don't go by as fast as what you would think. 5 more seconds. Okay, that was 40 seconds. Okay, so seconds are a unit of time. They're smaller than minutes, so we can use them to measure short amounts of time. What are other things we might measure using seconds? So I want you to think right now in your brain, like what are some things that you might measure using seconds? So I'm thinking like you could do jumping jacks in seconds, like how many jumping jacks can you do in 10 seconds? You could do like push-ups. How many push-ups can you do in 5 seconds? You could do sit-ups. How many sit-ups can you do in 20 seconds, right? Different exercises. There's lots of things that you can measure in seconds, but seconds are like things that you could do pretty quickly. So think about things that you could measure in seconds. Okay, so for those of you who are not in the classroom right now, we're just going to kind of think about this from your homes. It says, how many seconds do you think it will take us to walk from the carpet to sit in our seats? So if you're thinking about this at school, how many seconds do you think it takes to go from the carpet at the front of the room to your seat? So let's think. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say somewhere between like 4 and 5 seconds. So if you were to estimate this at home, you could do this at home. So maybe if you are like at a desk and you want to do like how many seconds will it take to get to the kitchen, you could estimate it and then you could actually time it and run your stopwatch. Okay. Okay, the tool that we're using here is called a stopwatch and it measures seconds. We can start it and stop it to measure how much time passes. When we stop the stopwatch, did time stop or did we just stop measuring? Well, I think we know that, don't we? Did time stop? No, time didn't stop. Time is continuous. It keeps going. Continuous means it keeps going and going. So all that we did was we stopped measuring the time. The time will pass regardless. Okay, for those of you who are at home, you can go to this website, www.onlinestopwatch.com, to get this exact stopwatch, or maybe you have like a phone with a stopwatch on it, something like that. So here's what you're going to do. Like with a sibling or a parent, you can measure and write how long it takes partner 2 to draw a 2x5 array on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper if you're at home. Partner 2, measure and write how long it takes partner 1 to draw a 6x10 array on a whiteboard. Partner 1, measure and write how long it takes partner 2 to skip count by 5s up to 60. And partner 2, measure and write how long it takes partner 2 to skip count by 2s up to 40. So maybe you can do this with your brother or sister if you're at home, or mom or dad. One of you can be partner 1, one of you can be partner 2, and you can go to this website, or you could just use a cell phone stopwatch. They're both going to measure time the same way. They're both going to measure seconds. Okay, minutes are longer than seconds. Let's find out what the length of a minute really feels like. Sit quietly while we measure a minute with the stopwatch. Okay, so we're gonna go to this. We're gonna count down 1 minute, and you're just gonna sit quietly and think about what a minute really feels like. A minute feels like a while when you're just sitting and waiting, doesn't it? A minute is 60 seconds, so we started at 60 seconds and we're working our way back to 1, actually all the way back to 0. Okay, we're over halfway. Almost there. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, that was a full minute. What does a minute feel like? So what do you think? You think to yourself in this answer box, what does a minute feel like? Like, what could you accomplish in 1 minute? Okay, now again, with someone at home, talk with a partner. So maybe it's like a brother, sister, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, about your favorite game. So maybe it's like your favorite sport, your favorite game, your favorite video game. Let's see if 1 minute feels the same when you are talking. Did 1 minute feel faster or slower when you aren't watching the clock? So pause here, go ahead and go to your stopwatch and talk to that partner for 1 minute. See, did it feel faster when you were talking with someone, or did it feel slower when you weren't watching the clock? So what are some things that we might use minutes to measure? We know that it feels a lot longer than a second, doesn't it? What are some things that we might use minutes to measure? Well, when I'm thinking of things like cooking time, baking time, how long it takes to walk somewhere, how long it takes to drive somewhere, how long a show is, right? We actually measure a lot of things in minutes. Can you think of any other things that we measure in minutes? Okay, go ahead, try your best on the problem set. You might need a partner for some of these things. If so, just use a sibling or a parent at home.